This is an Extra 106.3 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 106.3 FM or download the Extra 106.3 app. Extra 106.3 and a Second Chance Bail Bonds are here to back your blue. Back Your Blue highlights special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Join a Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Matalon and host Tug Coward to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Now it's time to Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Welcome to Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Cowart, along with Daniel Matalon from a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. Daniel, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing well.
I love it. It's a good day. We've got folks from Milton, Georgia, which I love Milton because I live, literally a baseball throw away from Milton.
Down the street,
right down the way. We've got Milton Chief of Police Jason Griffin, Milton First Responders Foundation board members Brian Dolan and Robyn Pinto with us. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is at this point.
Yeah, morning.
Once you do a morning show, when you get up at 3:45, you lose track of time. You could have told me it was Tuesday, and I'd be like, all right, fine. But it's great to have y'all. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Taking the time to come. Chief Griffin became Milton's police chief, first person to rise within the department in that role in the city's history. Been in law enforcement for 2 decades, begun his career with Newton County Sheriff's Office after several years on patrol with K9. How about that as K9 handler? Come on, Chief.
Done a little bit of everything over the years. I've been very fortunate.
I know you love being Chief Milton. There's no doubt about it.
Of course.
But working with the K9s had to be awesome.
It was. It was a lot of fun. I got a lot of opportunities in Newton County, and I've always been very grateful. I don't think I could have gone to another department in the metro area and received as much as I did there.
Yeah.
Was that when Sheriff Brown was there?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I actually write bail in Newton County, and Sheriff Brown he has the hardest handshake out of any sheriff that I've ever met.
Trying to rip your hand off.
No,
he's man's man.
Sheriff Brown
guy. I love it.
Newton County Sheriff is all business, dude. He is literally all business.
Who was the coolest dog you ever got to work? Was it multiple or just one?
I had one dog.
Okay.
Her name was Diva. My handler, and she was the diva.
Yeah, right. Until it's time to work, and I bet she was amazing.
She was.
What kind of dog was she?
Dogs are amazing tools. German Shepherd.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Cool. A buddy of mine works up in Whitfield County, where I was born and raised, and he's on the sheriff's department there, and is a K9 handler too. And he was on a TV show. Do y'all remember a TV show about police officers, local officers with their K9 dogs, and they would do all kinds of. Anyway, he was on that TV show. It was on like USA or Nat Geo. I don't know what network it was. But I just remember I would always see his pictures that he posted on social media and thought it was the coolest thing. He and I went to high school together, so it was super cool. Yeah, absolutely. You spent a lot of time Covington in the Criminal Investigations Division. Man, that sounds serious.
It was. I was in Newton County for about 9 years, and most of that time was in investigation.
Yeah. A Georgia native joined Milton PD 2011 as a detective assigned to the DEA task force. Buddy. That does not. It sounds amazing, but it sounds a little intimidating too, Chief.
It was a lot of fun. When I got hired on in Milton, they needed somebody to fill a task force position at the DEA, and they asked me, "You interested?" And I was like, "If you need me to be interested,
I'll do whatever you need. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Public servant."
Yeah, there you
Love
go.
it.
So I went down there for 3 years and enjoyed it. Yeah. A lot of fun.
Holy cow. Let's see, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, bunch of roles, criminal investigation uniform, patrol commander, support services commander, graduate of Reinhardt University, Waleska's finest. I think their baseball team right now is in the top 15 in the nation.
No kidding.
Really, really good program, NAIA program in Waleska. Got a degree in operational management and leadership. And you're enrolled now at Columbus State, which is another good baseball program.
I graduated with my master's in January or December.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Brian Dolan, chairperson for the Milton First Responders Foundation, 35 years in telecommunications and IT. originally from the Bronx, so I'm guessing a Yankees fan.
He's still a huge Yankee fan. Haven't lost the Yankees.
Absolutely. I can hear it too. Let me tell you,
it comes out once in a while.
Yeah,
just with a couple extra bourbon.
Yeah, exactly. Then it gets strong.
It gets strong.
Good Lord! Because right now it feels like you could you've been putting it down already because it is loud. But father was a police officer.
Yeah, NYPD, 41st, the 41st precinct, Fort Apache, the Bronx. So there actually was a movie with Paul Newman made about that. He was actually in the precinct when they were filming the
How about that?
I got sort of the bug. I never was quite ready to or had the guts enough to become a police officer, but I was doing my career right in technology for so many years. But there was a time by which I said, really wasn't connected to my community. And this was really an opportunity when a good friend of mine was talking about the Milton First Responders Foundation, was kind of looking for a new refresh of where we want to take the foundation. So I saw myself as taking on a potential community opportunity and getting connected to my community in the city of Milton, which I love, and to really take on and be connected with police and fire was even that much stronger for me to be committed to this foundation. And we just had a tremendous amount of success building this thing over the last 10 years.
It's amazing, and I know it's so important to be involved in your community, and I try to do those things now. Living in Crabapple, or if you're in my family, we call it Crabapple.
Crabapple, yes.
Yeah.
I do use that term.
That's right. Got a couple daughters and married wife Laura. But now to Robyn Pinto, treasurer. You've lived in Georgia since 1992. Where did you move from?
From Connecticut.
Goodness gracious! So we got a bunch of Yankees here.
Where in Connecticut were you?
Norwalk, about an hour outside of New York City. Yep. But I have to say, I've been here long enough. I consider myself to be a Southerner.
Okay, now tell me how you prove that.
I like grits.
Yes, ma'am. I like grits. Can you give me how about them dogs?
Oh, I love the dogs. Go dogs.
There we go. I
love the dogs.
Brian, I didn't ask you. How long have you lived in Georgia?
Just about 28 years.
And what brought you down?
Laura, my wife. So we were dating. I was living in Manhattan. She was living here in Atlanta. We were flying back and forth, and I was getting ready to take a new job in California. They didn't care where I actually lived because we were traveling all the time.
That's right.
And so she said, "Hey, I'm looking at a house in Sandy Springs. It's for $240,000, a ranch and 4 bedrooms, and I'm living in this shoebox. Spending over $2,500 a month. I'm like, I'm coming down.
Seriously,
you got me now. You got me now.
You had to ask me twice. Goodness gracious, that's awesome. But Milton, we'll go back to you, Chief. Milton, fairly new city, one of the safest in Georgia. You have to be proud of that.
I'm extremely proud of that. I always tell people that Milton's the best kept secret in Fulton County.
Well,
I don't know if it's the best kept secret. No, because I was on Zillow last night, and I live in Roswell, and I've been trying to move to Milton, to your city, for quite some time. And let me tell you something.
They have figured it out.
They have figured it out because the roof has blown off the price on real estate. It's crazy.
But it is amazing. The horse farms are beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The folks there are great. The restaurants are great. There's just nothing about Milton I don't love, and got a good high school, a couple good high schools, but one that's really, really good in athletics, and that's where my focus has been for so long with the son playing college baseball now. But used to get over to Milton and play against those folks over there all the time, and they're such great folks. But how does it stay so safe?
Well, we have a lot of hardworking officers. One, our community is very tightly woven. Our biggest advocate as a police department is active community members that are willing to reach out with us or to us, talk to us about issues. We have a lot of leadway being in a city like Milton to really dive down and fix things that other departments don't have time to deal with, if that makes sense. Like larger departments that are busier, our detectives get to look at so many crimes that bigger departments or busier departments would just
brush off,
put in a pile, and just because out of sheer manpower. So I think that is a large part of what keeps it safe.
Are you and Alpharetta pretty tight? I mean, I get
absolutely.
confused
I can only
sometimes.
imagine.
I was looking at real estate last night that said I was in Alpharetta, but then it's Milton, and it's
let me tell you, those are some jagged lines.
The high school, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I'm like, I don't even know how to keep this. Like, I don't know whether I'm in Milton or I'm in Alpharetta.
Right.
So I'm like, so that the line when I did the actual city lines, it's
zigzag,
it comes
nuts.
in and then comes around.
That's
and
right.
I'm like, so these police departments must.
What's like
We're all cross sworn. We have a joint SWAT team,
Makes
Norfolk
sense. Okay.
SWAT team. So it's us, Alpharetta, Roswell, Johns Creek. all the North Fulton chiefs, to include Sandy Springs and above, we get together monthly, and we're constantly sharing resources, intel. It's a really close-knit group, and it benefits everybody in North Fulton, to be honest.
You guys send everybody, because there's a big hot topic right now on what's going to happen with the Alpharetta jail, right? The annex facility.
Yes.
What's your feelings on that?
Feelings on that is I hope it stays open.
Me too.
And
Are we thinking it's close? I didn't know that.
Oh, this is you have no idea. You have no idea. Oh, it's another show, right?
We don't have to get into it all here.
Yeah, you don't want my blood pressure going up right now.
but it's very advantageous for all the North Fulton cities to have that as a resource.
Yeah.
Just logistically.
Logistically, if we were to arrest somebody and have to take them down to Rice Street, downtown Atlanta, every time it's 2.5, 3 hours round trip, and that is time that takes an officer away from being able to answer 911 calls
and keep
in our
Milton
communities.
safe.
Exactly.
And keep North Fulton safe.
Amen.
Those things matter. They absolutely matter.
It's a big thing right now.
Buddy, I got to tell you, as soon as he lit up like the 4th of July, just by asking the question.
Because Fulton County has no room to begin with. They've been out of room since they built the first jail. So now they're taking away these annexes, and I'm like, what is North Fulton going to do? I'm like, you can't, look, you're going to have an officer. Anyhow, we'll go there later.
Yeah, but I'm sure y'all feel as strongly about the community as Daniel does, and as I do as a North Fulton resident.
Sure.
It's so important that we're working together, just like the chief had laid out, with all the municipalities working together, but having the resources necessary, which is what y'all are in the business of doing.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I also want to speak to city leadership, right? So the mayors of these cities as well,
That's
city
huge.
council, very in tune with the first responders in each one of these communities, and they all do collaborate and communicate amongst each other, which makes a massive, massive difference in keeping our cities and citizens safe. But from a foundational perspective, right, we're a team that is all volunteer based. Right, and we raise money to support our Milton first responders in many different ways, many different capacities and different programs. So we've talked about the Alive at 25 driver safety program. We actually partnered with Summit Counseling to provide free counseling resources for every first responder and their immediate family members. Let's face it, they deal with our first responders with a lot of potential PTSD issues. They go to work just like we do. They have family issues, kid issues, drug issues, alcohol issues. Just like every one of us and our families, they need help. So we partner with Summit Counseling, to actually provide free services and counseling services for our first responders, which is massive.
I need to bring Robyn in. How do you fund that? How do you pay for that? Like what goes into that? It seems like it'd be very expensive.
Well, we do have annual fundraisers where we raise a lot of money, and Summit Counseling has been great. They have raised money on our behalf as well. So it has never been an issue having enough money to support our amazing first responders.
And the community cares. That's
yeah,
the
absolutely. The community is behind us. They love them just as much as we do. And I mean, that's why we work so hard. We have such a passion for our first responders that, we just want to make sure that we take good care of them just the way they take care of us.
Yes, ma'am. When we come back on Extra 106.3, we're going to talk about how and why the First Responders Foundation was started back in 2015, getting into volunteerism, board members, and then the Less Crime Act. Get into some of that stuff, too. It's all next on Extra 106.3.
This is Back Your Blue, presented by A Second Chance Bail Bonds, live on Extra 106.3 FM and streaming for free anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Welcome back to Back Your Blue with Daniel Madelon of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Cowart. We got a great group of guests today. From Milton, Georgia, Chief Griffin. We've got Robyn Pinto and Brian Dolan, and they are from the First Responders Foundation. As we talked about in closing that last segment, Brian, I'll go to you, just about how supportive the community is of the police department and just helping y'all raise money to accomplish the goals of the First Responders Foundation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we are blessed, and I think many communities are blessed that many of their citizenry supports and loves their first responders. So every dollar we raise comes from our citizens and small businesses that reside in the city of Milton. So we're very fortunate they give, and we ask, and we want to provide a concert and buy tickets and give us silent auction items, live auction items. They say yes, how many, how much, right? And it's love to represent the first responders because nobody says no.
That's right.
Right? And how much can I give? How often can I give? So we're blessed by that fact that we have a citizenry that cares, and it keeps our citizenry safe, knowing that we are keeping and retaining great talent, right? We know to keep police and fire is hard, right? There's a lot of competing cities.
Well,
right,
yeah,
that'll
especially
look for
Metro
these reasons.
Atlanta's
Exactly.
8 million people around here.
So I look at our First Responders Foundation as a bit of retention and attraction. Right? Come to our city and work here as a first responder. We'll love you.
That's right.
Right? And we don't want you to leave.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. So that's why
the best and the brightest.
Working with our city leadership, making sure we're getting the right salaries, the right support infrastructure, great gear and equipment for safety. That's why we do this.
So are you able to, through the foundation, you guys are helping funding some of these initiatives for Milton Police Department predominantly?
Yeah, so part of the Less Crime Act, right, that it was really purposely built to support police in the state of Georgia, specifically in the city.
Okay, so it was a statewide initiative.
It's a statewide initiative, to be a 501c qualified, you have to be a participant in that program, but all the funding through that program goes and support your local police department.
Right.
So Milton Police.
Y'all help me understand this, because you speak about the Less Crime Act, and I don't know that everybody, because I certainly don't. I mean, I know you're well versed in it, and Daniel's well versed in it, but people listening right now are probably more like me, well, what exactly is this?
I'm going to defer that to Robyn, because
Okay,
she's actually
Robyn.
our CFO of the foundation.
Here we
She
go.
spearheaded this effort just about 6 months ago to get us access and ingrained into this program. So I'm going to defer to Robyn.
Congratulations, and thank you for
thank you
for taking the lead on it.
Thank you. No, it was brought to my attention that there was this program that the state of Georgia stood up, the Less Crime Act, got us approved as a qualified law enforcement foundation. And then people can go onto the Georgia Tax Center and put in an application to send some of their money, their tax dollars, to
state tax dollars.
State tax dollars,
not federal.
Right, to our foundation. So it's been wonderful, and we've had some people do it so far last year. We've got someone who was able to do it this year. Once you're approved by the state, you make your donation, and it counts on your state tax return dollar for dollar.
Wow.
So you know where your money's going.
Which is very unheard of.
And there needs to be more awareness
Yeah.
around this, because
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, I talk to all these sheriffs and throughout Metro, and even extended out past Metro, Atlanta, and we all talk about this, right? But it's like, then I talk to people in the community, like friends of mine I know that live in the area, and they're like, what are you
It's the
talking
best
about?
kept secret
And they're
in
like,
the world.
you can
It is.
allocate your state tax dollars. And I said, yes.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why-
it's
why-
empowerment.
Yeah, and it's so important that this gets shared, and I'm glad y'all are here to talk about it. So how do you get it done? Like, help walk people through this process that might want to do this, whether Milton or somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, we have quite a few foundations in the state of Georgia that have been approved. So like I said, you go onto the website, you fill out the application, you tell them how much you want to give. You get a letter from the state. Within 60 days of that letter, you need to make your donation to the foundation. Foundation sends you a receipt acknowledging your donation. And then you give that document over to your CPA when you do your taxes, and it counts dollar for dollar.
So let's say
great
let's say you give $1,000.
Now caps, it does.
There
there's
are
a cap.
caps,
It's not
yes.
unlimited, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
what? So
There-
do we know?
But it's high enough. I mean,
It is. So single people can give $5,000, up to $5,000. Married couples up to $10,000, and corporations that pay on the entity level can give up to 75% of their tax liability,
Which is what we
which
Wow.
is
Sure.
huge.
Yeah.
It is, and we had one of those last year. It's amazing.
That's like hitting that.
Yeah,
that's like hitting a home
it's
run.
great. It is.
Don't
I know
have
you
that
get so
guy that's
excited when you get that
Or
letter.
that woman who's like, well,
I just care.
we got to
Yes.
put it somewhere. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
you're
right.
like,
Yes, thank you.
Please
have a
seat.
I mean, I would imagine like kid on Christmas, you get that email.
it's
Oh,
literally,
let me tell you what. I just got a letter this
You
weekend.
pick up the phone, Chief.
Yes.
You won't believe what just happened.
I was texting everybody. I told Chief today in the car, I was like, yes, we're on this.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, make sure you send them a pizza.
That's right. That's
we
right.
want you to do
that too.
once in a while.
People with the biggest state tax bills. That's what
Yeah.
you're looking for.
Yeah.
So people need to also understand that this money is slated just for the police department.
Sure.
And for only certain things like equipment purchases
Seems
and some
important.
training.
Seems-
So it's
also
not
seems
just
important.
anything. So there are some rules around it, but
I mean,
it's
those
a
are the,
fantastic program.
I mean, the two that you named seem really important.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, I
so
mean-
we're so excited to be a qualified foundation.
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
great.
it's been huge for us.
And our website, actually, because as we know, anything with taxes has
Yes.
its challenges of
I'm not a
filing.
fan of them.
I mean, me either.
I don't like them at all.
We're all going through it right now, aren't we? So
We are. We are.
Unless I get to, thank you, Melinda. Unless I get to direct it to the place that I want them to go, then I don't like them. And if you do, I don't believe you because I think you're fibbing. You're telling a story. If I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah, but if you want to get some more information, the MiltonFirstResponders.org is our website. Milton First Responders. Keep S
With an
for
S.
safety.
that's right.
Yes.
That's for safety.
Dot
Not on
org.
That's good.
Kroger's,
That's a good
but-
plug
dot
there. I like
org.
that.
Not on Kroger's, not on Walmart's.
And it's right
but
there.
on Foundation.
Right there on our front page, you basically click on it. It'll actually walk you through the entire step process of how to qualify for the Less Crime Act and the donation process and how this all interworks. So
I hope that never goes away. Honestly, I
surely
don't
it
know
will.
what the
Well,
timeline
I think
is
we
on
need
it.
to talk to financial planners, right? CPAs, right? All folks like that in our
Who
community.
can we call?
Because it
Yeah.
sunsets, right? If
It
and I haven't,
does.
I don't remember the specific. I've read
2027?
it, but
Oh.
right. So it does, but everything that sunsets can always be brought back. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And there have been other programs that have been re-upped. So that's our hope that in 2027 they'll see how much this is helping our police departments and they'll get in with that again.
Well, who's the low down person that said we're gonna let this thing fade out? You know what I mean? It's so obvious that
because to get stuff in,
Y'all can't say it,
sometimes
I
you put
can.
a you
I don't
tag it
care.
with a sunset on the backside,
Right.
Because hey, you want this program, you believe in it, we know it's
Absolutely.
great, so it's like we'll agree to
Okay.
sunset it,
Okay.
so then we can get it through the door, and
Yeah.
then
Okay,
somehow
got it.
you got to get the sunset to just kind of
To never set.
to never set.
That's right. We want
And that's
sunshine
what-
all day.
And
We
that
like to be-
happens. It happens. It's a political. This is where the politics
See,
come
and
in.
I don't like politics.
But we
you
want to
know.
make this successful, so we never sunset it.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And
There
I
you
would
go,
hope
Brian.
that we
I
can
like it.
actually expand it to include fire.
I support
that'd be
them.
great.
I support all that. So I'm in.
Well, what's the process for that? Is that a challenging process?
No, I think we just got to work with local legislation, right?
Okay.
Cross the
in
T's,
the
dot,
state.
dot,
Yeah.
get
So
this.
the Senator Albers, right, who really sponsored this some years ago. We're close friends as well, so we got to
Yeah.
keep in touch, and that's why you got to activate yourself in your community.
Was that Brandon Beach, state senator? That's
Well, Treasury. He's going to Treasury.
Yeah, going to Treasury. Yeah,
He's right North Fulton.
yeah, that's
I
right.
mean,
Well, that's the reason I know him is because
Yeah,
he's,
his
he's-
office is right at the Avalon.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Well,
why
not anymore,
we had
but
to go.
not for temporarily.
Yeah, we had to go knock on his door or something. And be like, look, this is something Brian has already told me, and
Got to do it.
yeah, Robyn said we got to get this done.
Absolutely. Get on it.
And when Robyn says,
That's
we
right.
got to
Let me
go.
tell you that, and understandably
Robyn
so.
told me I had to do this.
That's right.
That's
So
right.
go do it.
No, I love it. What about volunteers? Because I bet y'all could use a few of those.
Yeah, I think it's something we're always looking for as we do different events. We're actually taking this year to kind of recalibrate the foundation. We typically have done concerts in the city, in downtown Crabapple.
Yeah, sure.
Raised a ton of money in doing those events. We're always looking for different volunteers, but also I use myself as an example. If you're looking for a reason to get activated inside your community, want to make a difference, right? Want to support our first responders, come on, give me a call. Give us a call. Activate yourself through our website. Our emails are there. We'll give our phone numbers out. Love to talk about the foundation, what you could be doing. And again, we're always looking for great ideas, right? We're not necessarily the smartest cats in the room. We're always looking for fresh ideas,
Robyn
unique
is.
ideas. Well, Robyn is, yes. She tells me I'm a dummy. I said, I know.
I'm kidding. Totally joking.
But we're always looking for fresh new ideas of how can we do something different.
Yeah.
What's a new program that could be out there? People are aware of things we may not be aware of that we need to have that interested party at our table.
No, I love it. What's your pitch, Robyn? I mean, because it really is, and Brian makes a great case, but how do you get, it's like, we go to Perimeter in Johns Creek, and when they talk about the children's program and how great it is, our pastor always comes behind and says, now, this is my obligated pitch. Y'all got to go help in the great kids programs. How do you get folks involved? How do you get them engaged? How do you convince them to volunteer in any capacity?
Well, we're constantly talking about talking to people about our first responders. And I can honestly say that we'll see our first responders in the grocery store, and they'll stop us and they'll thank us for everything that we do. Every time we see them, they're like, thank you for what you do. We have a program at the end of the year. We started during COVID to help out with rising costs with groceries and gas.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so what we started doing was giving every first responder a gift card to Kroger's, because you can get gas or groceries there. And this way we can help them with those rising costs. But everybody is so grateful. They're so awesome to work with. I mean, we're so proud of them. It's so easy. That's what we tell people. It's easy. They're great people to work for. Come and help us. And a lot of people do, and they see that. They see how awesome they are.
Yeah. And then board members. I mean, obviously y'all are part of the board, but
right.
How big is the board?
Only 5, and we kept it small for a reason, right? We keep it intimate, keep it small, but we'll always look. And again, as we've been doing this 10 years,
right?
Wow. So I'm kind of thinking, what's MFRF 2.0? Right. So we're actually bringing a new board member in, young kid.
New blood.
Went through Milton High School, Georgia.
Okay. That's cool.
Now he's
How
working in a
about
financial organization in the city of Milton. So he was a
great.
perfect fit, and he was part of the Explorer program in the city of Milton.
really?
Yeah.
That's great.
So is that the program that you guys do, like the sheriffs do, like the, what do they call those programs? They've talked about them in here 100 times, but they actually go through
Champs and stuff like that.
Right. So it's the same thing.
It's just like that. We have our community outreach officer heads it up, and they go to competitions. They practice traffic stop techniques.
Yeah.
All kinds of police related. They have their own rank system.
Oh wow.
And they're high school kids.
Yeah.
And they have uniforms. They wear collar brass. There's a captain. There's a lieutenant. There's a sergeant.
Yeah.
It's kind of like ROTC a little bit.
It is, and they go to competitions all over the state, and these kids love it.
So Milton has their own team.
We do, and we've actually hired a few of them as patrol officers when they graduate college
my
and
God,
go
I love
on.
that.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a great program,
And there's a hiring, not a war, because I don't want to call it a war, but amongst
struggle?
these North.
A
Okay,
struggle.
no, because I have friends that are officers and whatnot, and so literally, it's who can hire who, right? I
Yeah.
mean, and who's got the best benefits
Well, but
package. And North Fulton's got the bread. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
I'm familiar.
they are winning the war right now, right? All I hear from the South side is like, they keep taking our officers to North Fulton, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do about it?
You better push all your chips in.
You better go all in.
and back to what Brian said, we have an incredibly supportive mayor and council and city management staff that knows that. And knows that we need to remain competitive.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually fully staffed, everybody off of training for the first time since we've been a city.
I bet one of the
18 years.
one of the
That's
few
incredible.
cities.
As of Friday.
Oh wow, how about that? I bet
So-
that's one of the few cities that can say that.
Probably.
If not the only.
There's not
maybe
not
the
many.
only.
There's not many, because even like the counties. Well, I would say let's keep this more on city, right? City, this is
Sure.
the city. So yeah, no, I mean it's
Well,
it's
but I
tough
bet
to do.
there's.
All the North Fulton departments are pretty well staffed.
Are they?
And it probably is a testament to
Yeah,
the
I
higher
mean, it's
pay.
your
and
Milton, Sandy Springs, Johns Creek. Those
Yeah.
are your, and I guess Roswell's in
And
there too,
Alpharetta,
but-
yeah.
but-
Alpharetta,
and
yeah.
Alpharetta. But like,
You're trying to leave my friend out?
yeah,
But
I love them all. Okay,
And I'll throw out another. It's leadership.
Yes, no, that's right, Chief.
So,
You're right.
you know,
It is.
running businesses I've had in the past. Having quality leadership.
It's imperative.
Rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why people love pay. Don't get me wrong, but they don't stay for pay. They stay because of leadership
That's right.
and their commitment to you and on the force and seeing their best benefits going through. Yeah.
Well, and like, because I work with a lot of agencies around Metro Atlanta, and I would say the biggest thing is like you just said, the city council, the mayor, having the cohesion between the departments, the police department and the city council is so crucial, because I do work in scenarios currently right now where the mayor and the city council, I mean, they're all on different pages, and you can't get anything done when it's like that. So that to me is like the most valuable thing for you as a chief to be able to, and for the foundation to be able to go out and achieve the things that you want to achieve. Having that support system is huge, because when I've seen when you don't have it, and it's a sad situation, because you're basically at a gridlock. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere.
What Brian said though resonates with me. The people might go somewhere for money, but they don't stay there. Because I've even taught my own son this, who's in college now. I always say, yes, money's important. You have to have it, of course, right? But it's not the most important. Right. enjoying the people that you work with, enjoying the community that you live in. All of those things are variables that no one ever talks about. When they're talking about, oh, I'm going here because I'm going to get paid the most. Whatever it is that you do for a living, you won't stay there long. I would rather get paid less and love the people that I work with, love the environment that I work with, or work in, rather. And leadership is so true. Even here at Dickey Broadcasting, we have the same. It's the only locally owned broadcast company in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. This is a city of nearly 8 million people, in a metro.
Sure.
And it's the only one. How could that be the case? And I came here because of that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Though that leadership is imperative. It is so important because money isn't everything. Is it important? Yes, but it's not everything.
Right on.
What is the most important thing that the foundation works on? Brian, we'll start with you and we'll come.
Yeah, part of the relationship we have with all the departments, right, is also we have a liaison, right? It's assigned to us from PD as well as FD in the city of Milton. So we're actually actively engaged, listening to them, what's happening, what are the needs potentially of the department that are not being met today, or something that's coming up. Right, so that's where we got into mental fitness. Right, physical fitness is one thing, mental fitness is another thing. Summit counts.
Oftentimes looked over too.
Exactly.
For many years, not as much anymore, but
yeah, I mean, and what a blessing that is.
Sure.
Right, when my dad was going through the force, that
right.
was looked as a blemish. Right,
that was a weakness.
A weakness, exactly.
Military too.
Now strength is looked as raising your hand and saying, I need some help.
Being brave enough.
And I need to be better. I know I need to be better. I need some support, and that is now available to them. So that's now not looked as a negative, but a positive, that you're recognizing you need some help.
I love that. Robyn, what would you add?
I would definitely say that our role in connecting our first responders with the community and being a bridge, you know what I mean? And
yes, ma'am.
Communicating to our community about our first responders, what they need, how great they are, how we can support them, because they take such good care of us. I think that's what.
Yes, ma'am. Relationship is so important. And,
absolutely.
And relationship in the community with the officers, with the fire department. We talk about it on the show all the time. Everything begins with a relationship. Everything in life. And I've found that in every aspect of my life. Chief, I want to bring you in from your side, the importance of the foundation. And they've given their point of view. Now somebody that actually lives the life and does the job.
Right. Now, the mental health piece is massive, and it's very near and dear to my heart. We have a very robust peer support program at our police department, and it is supplemented by what they provide as a foundation.
Yes, sir.
And it's 100%, discreet.
Yeah, sure.
We have no idea who uses these services.
Well, it should be, as it should be.
And, we're big on pushing the message that it's okay not to be okay. You've been in this industry long enough. You hear all the horror stories and about suicides, and
oh my gosh, yes.
It's very near and dear to me. That is a huge thing that they provide us. Something else that I think is huge is just to piggyback on the relationship side of things.
Yeah, that piece.
We may have an officer have a tree fall through their house. And they're strapped, they're young, they have a few kids, they have all these expenses,
like everybody.
And and these guys step in and give them a check for a couple grand to cover the
get the tree out of the
the
roof.
repairs, whatever, right.
And repair the roof.
I mean, sometimes life kicks you right where you don't want to be kicked.
Yeah.
And these guys are great about stepping in and helping those officers and firefighters when those financial needs arise.
See, and I love the fact that you brought that up, because you've lived it, you've seen it.
Oh, absolutely.
Your officers are dealing with those things.
I mean, I have seen people literally become emotional because they weren't expecting it, and these guys come flying in from outfield, and
yeah, absolutely,
like the unsung heroes. So it is such a benefit to the officers, and they all know it.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's terrific. Even in what Robyn was talking about, like when everything was, I mean, not that anything's gotten that much cheaper, but you're starting to see some things trend in the right direction, which is great.
Yeah.
But being able to offer gift cards and just, hey, here, it's just a pat on the back, just hey man, it's like when you pay it forward in line, if you're at Dunkin' or Starbucks or wherever, and you just pay for the car behind you. Is it going to change anybody's day? Is that anything huge? No.
It is a cool experience.
But it is, absolutely. I've never had it happen. I need to get behind you.
I have had it happen, but I've done it more than I've gotten it. But
Me too.
but it's fun.
I love it.
It's still I just like the whole experience.
No,
the surprise of it all. And
Of course. Yeah, it's terrific.
I have to say that's probably the best day of the year is when we gather at the fire station, we get everybody together, and we're like, here you go. Here is your gift card. And we even upped the amount this year. So we're just, it feels so good to give back to them, and it makes them so happy because it helps. There's so many families that, the budget only goes so far, and so it makes a real difference, and they're just so appreciative. So how could you not want to give back to them?
Yeah, no, that's right. Usually it turns out that way. The person that's giving is actually the person that's benefiting the most. And you don't know it in the moment. That's what the good book says. And I certainly believe that with all that is me. So we'll continue here on Extra 106.3. We want to talk to you all about the Alive at 25 program, find out exactly what that's all about as we talk to the folks from the Milton First Responders Foundation, along with Daniel Madelon of Second Chance Bail Bonds and Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart. This is Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 and a Second Chance Bail Bonds are here to back your blue. Now back to the show on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Welcome back. Final segment of Back to the Blue on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Cowart, along with Daniel Madelon of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. We have got some special folks in the studio with us today, Milton First Responders Foundation. We've got Robyn Pinto and Brian Dolan, as well as Milton Chief Griffin. Thank you all so much for taking the time. It's great to discuss the things that are happening in our communities because they matter so much. Daniel, we talk about it all the time, just how important it is to be ingrained in your community, to have a great community. And I certainly know Milton is one. You're trying to get over there.
Listen, if they'll let me in.
That's the question, will they? I mean, we got to talk to the chief about that.
Look hard for land there.
That's right. You're going to talk to the chief about that. We'll have to see if we can put a block.
Work for it.
Maybe we'll block you out altogether. You can't come over. Sorry. I kid, of course. But I do want to talk to you about y'all about the Alive at 25 program. Who wants to jump in and tell me about it? Because I'm not familiar, and I live 5 minutes from Milton.
Okay, so we have this program in Milton where if a child under the age of 25 gets pulled over, the court can tell them that they can take this class. It's in person at the Milton Police Department. Officer Charles Fannin runs it for us, does a fantastic job. And you take this 4-hour class, and you have a test at the end. You have to make sure that you pass. They'll make sure that you pass, because if you don't, they will sit down and they will work with your child.
That's awesome.
To make sure.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just instead of getting points on your license.
Yeah.
So it's been great. We have
this
had
is after infraction.
Yes, after. And then you have to go back to court with your certificate, and you have to prove to them that you took the class. We have had over.
Judge gives you a pop quiz.
Yes, yes. So be prepared.
If you want this up, you got to know you did it.
Yes. So we've had over 1,500 people go through this program.
I bet I know some of them kids.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Something tells me.
Sure you do.
Knowing the crowd that my son run around with, I think I know. I probably know some of those kids. No, it is so good that's available. And I would assume that the parents are all about it because,
yes.
I mean, I'll tell you, Robyn, and you can tell me if you've had this experience before too, but when my son, he's 20 now, when he was 16, he had went through driving safety, driving school. We did it all. We did everything we could because I didn't have the patience and he didn't want to learn from daddy anyway, right? He was much better with mama, but we went the driving school route and took his license exam with he did it all with them, which was terrific. But the most frightened I've ever been in 20 years of being a father was the day that my son pulled out of the driveway by himself. I've never been. I know what that gut feeling still is to this moment. It was so pronounced.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a great program. It's going to teach these kids how to be safe when they're out there on the road. I took the program at its inception, and one of the officers had taught me something. I said, well, if I'm sitting at a light, yes, I am touching my cell phone. This was years ago before we had that. And he's like, no, you are not supposed to be doing that. I said, I had no idea. I thought since the car was stopped. So, I mean, there's things that you don't know that these kids don't know because they're so young.
And they're so used to having their phone glued to their hand.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's all I
Yes.
do now.
That's right.
Take the phone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Take the phone.
There's just, there's
like
just not
world
enough
ends.
experience for these kids, but this is a great program. Even
love it.
if
I think it's fantastic.
your kid doesn't get a ticket, they should be taking this program. They should go through
Can
it.
you do it?
Absolutely.
ahead of time?
So does it qualify you
so-
for the pre-driver, any of that stuff, or no? That's separate.
doesn't
the
qualify-
pre-driving course is separate. All that stuff separate.
Yeah, it doesn't
this would just
qualify
be an
you for
addition.
that, but you can get a discount on your insurance policy if your kid takes this class.
That stuff's
So-
expensive. I know.
Yeah.
And it's a $50 fee to take this class.
Let me tell you,
That's
driving
it.
school
It's
is much
worth
more than $50.
that's
I can promise you that.
absolutely. It's so worth it. Just
$50 is a small
Dude,
fee
absolutely.
price to pay to
That's
save
lunch.
your life.
If y'all leave and go to lunch today, it'll be more than $50.
Right.
What are you talking about? Goodness.
it's going to buy you some peace of mind
Yeah.
knowing that your kid knows the rules.
Now, is it a preemptive, though? If, like, you've already taken it and then you get the points, do you get to go back and be like, well, I've done it? Then go stand in front of the
No.
judge? See, that's what I'm saying.
No, it
Look,
doesn't work like that.
Me being a prepper, I'd be like, hang on, let's do it later. Let's do
Yeah.
it later because I
Yeah.
know you're a knucklehead. You're related to me.
No.
I kid, somewhat.
And also,
somewhat.
you can only go through the program one time, so
Okay.
you need
Yeah.
to make
One
it
and done.
stick.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, it does. Absolutely right.
There's more opportunity.
I love what y'all do with the officers, though, the continuing education, which is through the Milton First Responders Foundation, Brian.
Yeah, no, it's another great program, initiative we had for many years now, whereby police or fire can approach us for a financial grant for educational assistance. So if they want to go for extended master's degree, right, or if they want to for a special certification, they can actually approach the foundation, submit a grant request, and we'll typically get those approved very quickly if they want to do some continuing education. So it's an area. So we talk about physically fit, mentally fit, educationally fit. And I love the fact we've got one of the smartest police forces and fire forces out there in any community in the state of Georgia. I mean, we've got a ton of folks that got master's degrees.
Wow.
Chief's gone through, right? So what he's been able to accomplish. So again, leadership drives other behaviors, right?
Oh, it
Because he's
does.
actually gone through the programs and done continuing education. So we want to make sure we're affording that program to our frontline first responders.
Well, also a grant process if something goes wrong, like you have those unexpected things that happen that you brought up.
Yeah, I mean, again, typically we get almost weekly or every other week we get requests from a firefighter or an officer. Something happened, like Chief was talking about, or something came through your roof. We've had anything from their house got flooded. They got to now go to an apartment for 6 months, so they get their house remediated. We pay for the rental costs, right? We pay potentially for gap insurance coverage, right?
Wow.
We're trying to make sure that they are not burdened by extra costs. And the foundation can support that, so they keep themselves mentally fit and in the game when they're out on the street protecting us.
Which is the most important. Obviously, Chief, you know that better than anybody. If your focus is somewhere else, things are bound to go wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have made such an impact. I don't even know if they understand how much of an impact they've made on some of these officers. And I know I tell you guys all the time how appreciative I am.
But those are
But it
benefits
is.
that no one's even counting because they don't even know about them. It's not like insurance,
Right.
you know. It's not like whatever the other benefits are. You know, a discount in a gym. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making it up at this point, but those are benefits that you couldn't even know until you get into the office, the department.
Yep, and typically most of these are very discreet.
Well, right.
And, you know, it's designed that way.
But
the
to
only
know
time
that
we
you-
hear about it is if the officers tell us.
But to know you have that safety net is a blessing.
Absolutely.
That's the only way I know to put it. Is there anything we left out? Anything we need to cover? Like how do folks get in touch with the Milton First Responders Foundation? How do they reach out to y'all to volunteer, to donate, about the Less Crime Act, to become a board member?
MiltonFirstResponders.org. You have access to all these programs, all the things we've accomplished, all the programs, and contact information. So all the things you can directly get in contact with me or Robyn, anybody on the board. We love to hear from folks, right? If you got questions, you got interests, you got donations you want to give to us, we're here to talk to you, help you work through the process. And hey, if there's other initiatives and programs you're thinking that are out there we can look to institute as part of the foundation, we're all about it.
I love that, Chief. I know you just said that you're full up. The whole department is full up, but are there other jobs maybe that aren't officers that are available that people, that they could? I'm not applying right now.
Tug's looking for a new job.
Not right in a second. I'm not. But I mean, once they cut me loose here, and it's bound to happen. I mean, I got to find something. Like, how do folks get a hold of the department?
So as always, they can reach out to anybody at our department. All of our information's on our website. If they want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, we're very active with our social medias. We're here. We're part of the community. We love that community. We care about the community, and it's an open door.
There you go.
It really is.
Right on. And Robyn, great work. I know the folks there appreciate all that you do and keeping them on the rails. Because, I mean, I've seen these two guys already. I mean, this is off the rails on the crazy train. It's obvious what would happen without you. You're the adhesive that holds it all together.
I am. Yeah. I do this for my brother, Sergeant Scott Mulvey. So, yeah, he asked me 10 years ago if I would get involved in this. And here we are 10 years later and all we've accomplished. So I'm really proud of what we've done. But I'm more proud of our first responders.
Yes, ma'am.
And what they do for us.
I love it. Thank y'all for taking the time to come in and sharing everything. It's a great day, and you're welcome back anytime. Anything we can help promote for y'all and let folks know about, then you get it to us, and we'll make sure we share it with everybody else.
Thank you.
All right, God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Cheers. Yeah. My name is Tug Cowart. This is Extra 1063.
This is an Extra 1063 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 1063 FM or download the Extra 1063 app.